Greetings! I recorded this in 2 sessions, 2 weeks apart. I thought it was going to go in one direction, but I got a big surprise during the regulation. Check it out. Greetings! After the last video, I cleaned all of the Waltham's parts in my ultrasonic cleaner. I won't show you that because it's kind of boring. I also could show you them being dried in my food dehydrator, but that would be even more boring. I polished the inside of the mainspring barrel with a fine silicone polisher and my Dremel. I ran the Dremel at about 10,000 RPM. I didn't eliminate the scratches, but I do think I smoothed them down quite a bit. I examined all of the pivots and jewel holes under 45x magnification. The pivots were clean and shiny. There were some scratches on them, particularly on the tips. I'm not sure what I should do about them, so I left them as is. I could polish them, but I worry about making things worse. I won't do that unless the Amplitude still sucks and I conclude that polishing the scratches out of the pivots is the next thing to try. The jewels looked fine. Some had 1 or 2 flakes taken out of their bodies, and I have no idea how that might happen, but the holes looked okay. One hole had a very small deformation, but I elected to leave it as is. Again, I'll deal with that if and only if the Amplitude is still bad. I've done enough things now for the first time ever on this watch, and I don't want to press my luck. Then I reassembled the movement using lubricants purchased from a known good vendor on eBay. As I did so, I tested the end shake and side shake by hand. To my admittedly inexperienced hand, the end shake and side shakes all seemed okay. And now, I'm going to reinstall the balance assembly and attempt to calculate the lift angle and regulate the movement. And you're going to see this as I did it. Here we go. Change of plans. I had to call an audible when I redid the regulation because I received a very big negative surprise. The amplitude was still pretty bad, only about 140 degrees of amplitude. There wasn't much to show you from my regulation work, aside from my going, oh no, a lot, re-examining the lubrication, which was uneventful. I didn't find anything that I had screwed up, and scratching my chin for a bit. So, I can't calculate the lift angle, and this watch is still in poor regulation health. What now? Well, I have a list of suspects for the low amplitude. 2 of them I'll work on in the next couple of weeks. The remainder will have to wait a couple of months until I do more research and reading and learning. My first suspicion is that the mainspring barrel scratches have more impact than I had assumed. I'll purchase higher abrasive silicone polishers and smooth down the barrel walls and polish them, as well as the edges of the mainspring barrel arbor hole. My second suspicion is that the pivot scratches have more impact than I had assumed. I'll try polishing them out and retesting. So those problems I can fix now. Here are the suspicions that I'll dig into after I get a little more education and experience. Since the watch is 118 years old, it's worth trying to use a stronger mainspring. I'd have to compute the spring characteristics, length, thickness, width, and composition that I want to buy, and then buy it. I'll also need to buy a K&D Model 126 mainspring winder set, or use the one at the Norwest School of Horology. Upon re-examination, I think that one of the dial side pivots has excessive side shake. I know how to fix this in theory, but I've never done it. Maybe the previous person who worked on this watch replaced the hairspring for good reason, but didn't install the correct hairspring. I'm not up to vibrating a hairspring yet, but maybe I will be in 3 months or so. The pivot ends must have a domed shape, so I could check each one for flatness and reshape the ones that need it. None of them stood out to me as being flat, but maybe a closer examination will reveal that some of them need shaping. Finally, after running out of my ideas, I'll ask more knowledgeable people to try regulating the watch and tell me what they think is going on. After digesting the state of the movement, I cleaned the case with a 50-50 solution of simple green and applied Rodico to the dial and hands. I didn't want to do more cleaning of the dial and hands because they're easy to accidentally ruin, and I haven't done much reading on their cleaning techniques. They look good, but up close the hands have some rust spots. I then reassembled the watch. Here it is. My paternal grandfather was Antonio de Rosa, born in 1868 in a small village in or near Prato, Italy, or 40 miles east of Naples, which is nowhere near Prato. My family's history isn't clear on this point. I'd have to visit the Italian villages for a couple of weeks and go to their hall of records to untangle that mystery. According to my father, Antonio de Rosa was born in a village with about 250 inhabitants at the time, almost all farmers. He immigrated to the US in 1900. I don't know what vessel he came on, but I'm guessing it was a steamship. He was a custom shoemaker in Italy, which at the time was a very big deal. But after immigrating, he was eclipsed by the Industrial Revolution, and his occupation was downgraded to being a cobbler. He also worked for a time as a night watchman. Family history says this watch was his prized possession. I don't know if that's true, but it could be, given his likely income. Did he buy it new? Or did he buy it used from one of his cobbler customers or from a store? Did he win it gambling? Did he find it and had it repaired? I have no idea. He died in 1936, 21 years before I was born. And now I'm holding and caring for his watch. Till next time, take care.